Hello, hello. It is your Astro Coach Sarah here. Welcome to 2026. Let me know in the comments what do you have a word theme for the year, a phrase theme for the year, goal and intention, um, type of thing that you're going to go with for 2026. So, of course, this is the weekly where I do the dabble in the astrology, tarot, oracle, crystal, oil, or herb, and give you a little bit of support to carry you through the week. If you want the full-blown astrology, in-depth stuff, head on over to the Awakening Spirit Collective. That is where I post my weekly in-depth astrology videos. It's also a collective of practitioners that come together and give you supportive stuff like, all kinds of things from yoga, meditations, guidance. We also have a monthly conversation where we kind of come as we are and work through either a meditation or journaling or otherwise. So that's all in the Awakening Spirit Collective. There is an affiliate link. Yes, I get a percentage from that. So if you want to join that and get my weekly astrology, go for it. Happy to see you over there. I will try to remember the conscious conversations that we have over there that are monthly, are free and open to anyone who would like to join. They are on the second Tuesday of every month. If you would like to be a part of that, I'll try to remember to post the information over on my posts or community or whatever the hell that tab is called these days, section here on my YouTube channel. Of course, if you want to work with me, full chart reading, astro goals, wellness reading, those sorts of things. I have a couple of new opportunities coming up here pretty soon. So I'm going to make some adjustments to my calendar and my business hours and whatnot. So I'll be sharing that when I have it up and ready. But yeah, and I do want to share. I had someone go through something recently, and without giving any details of anything, everything that happened during the course of the event was completely in alignment with the last Mercury retrograde. Sometimes the astrology can even blow my mind at how accurate it can be. So, here we are. It's January, it's Capricorn season. I did miss a full moon in Cancer that happened on January 3rd. Hopefully, that gave you some insight as to what you can be nurtured, what you're actually nurturing versus what you say you want to be nurturing is kind of how I see that full moon in Cancer. Really great full moon. But because it's so supported by what we're going to talk about for this week, which is this planet triple conjunction of planets in Capricorn. We have Mars, we have the Sun, we have Venus, we have Mercury all in Capricorn. And they're all going to be kind of walking together through Capricorn for the next couple of weeks or so, and conjuncting each other, conjuncting the sun. And I was thinking about, does anybody remember men are from Mars, women are from Venus? Because Mars is the masculine, he's the take action, he's exalted in Capricorn. Um, he wants to really get things moving in the right direction. Venus is the feminine, the flow, the feeling, the passion and all of that. And Venus in Capricorn is like, what are we passionate about? And Mars is like, yeah, and where can we take the action? And they're all going to conjunct with the sun in Capricorn. And I feel like one of the things that I have really noticed, first of all, I have been staring at this transit since early last year, early 2025. So I saw it coming and I thought, okay, so and I think at the time I feel like I said, whatever you let go of and release during 2025 and allow to dissipate, you will be rewarded for in early 2026. And here we are. And it may not feel like a reward right now because I know a lot of people are going through a lot of shit. I'm not oblivious to that. However, it may be because what went away caused you a lot of grief. and you may still be going through that grief, but grief and joy can coexist. So you can be grieving and yet still like that grief that you're experiencing opening up the most joyous opportunity you never thought you wanted or had or never thought you needed or whatever, right? So I also really want to invite you to think back to January of 2020, because what we're witnessing right now with these planets in Capricorn is now the personal planets coming through, Mars, Venus, Mercury coming through in the same areas where Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto were in 2020, early 2020. Okay. So the outer planets came through and kind of did their self-destruct sequence, which is what they do, right? Pluto, um, it destroys and then rebuilds. Saturn is systems, structures, authority, all of those things, and Jupiter is expansion, right? Or doctrine, or belief systems, philosophy. So, what kind of happened for you specifically? Not like the global events that took place, because we know that, right? But like for me, I started out in 2020 living in California, and by sheer divine, effortless magic, I was in Arizona within a month, right? I left California, was in Arizona within, and granted, it was February. It's the shortest month of the year, but I finished out February in Arizona. And throughout the next couple of years, I lost friends because they quit talking to me for various reasons. Most of them don't believe in my work. Most of them thought that my response to the events of the 2 years there was not what they wanted me to do, but I did it anyway. So, and I realized how I can thrive, right? And I tapped into what I can teach, how I can educate people, what my leadership role is to be. And how here we are 5 years later, 6 years later, and my word for the year is stability. And my intention with the word stability is to provide education, to be an educator, to be a leader. I'm not saying you got to be an educator, you got to be a leader. What I am saying is what kind of started to dissipate for you in 2020 is now kind of culminating here in early 2026 with this personal planet, Mars, Venus, Mercury pile up in triple conjunction in Capricorn, that's coming back in to say, what'd you learn? And what are you moving forward with? Because we all learned something in the past 6 years. There are loads and loads of global events happening. I'm not going to go there here. I went through that on the Awakening Spirit Collective video. I'm not going to do that here. But what I do want to say is that my age group, you're in your 40s, and we are not children anymore, and we need to stop acting like we are. Okay, I posted a clip from Real AF Andy Frizella the other day that said, that's a great reminder that we really need people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s to step the fuck up. Because some of us are parents of adult children, grandparents. Not all of us, because I don't have no kids, but I can tell you that on my trip, I was introduced to my now nieces, nephew, grandchildren. You know, it's like I became an aunt to adults. And you may have adult children, and you're still not acting like a mentor. You just expect them to be grown-ups without mentoring them into being grown-ups. So what I'm saying here is that Gen X, I could preach this from the rooftops. We need to step the fuck up. The reason that our parents' age group is running the show is because we're not. And that's not good. Because you realize, constitutionally speaking, that 35 is the youngest age of a person qualifying to be president to run our country. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. But from a Gen X needs to step the fuck up perspective, let's move forward. What are we creating? What are we building? What are we doing? What are we doing for our role? Because we each have a role and a responsibility to take that role seriously. And as we, and this is something with all these planets in Capricorn, they're gonna do a little minor transit to Saturn and Neptune and Pisces. And there's things that like you're not really gonna need to try to do because it's going to be like cut out. It's going to be just like shown to you. Like, I don't know about y'all, but like my syncs, my intuition has been like fucking over the top lately. Like just what I have noticed, what I have observed, to the point of it being like comedy. Like, holy shit. Okay. So with this energy in Capricorn, and for what is coming, which is a lot of fire. Okay. We got planets moving into Aries, which is a fiery fucker. Um, you have this opportunity to express yourself unlike no other. So we need to stop feeling like somebody gonna judge you, somebody gonna poo-poo on you, because guess what? People poo-poo on me all the fucking time. Okay. People in my building think I'm weird because I work out. So, um, people are going to poo-poo on you. People are going to judge you. People are going to whatever they're going to do. But I'm going to tell you this, if that is coming from an older person, it's because that generation of people thinks they know everything because that's Pluto Leo. And that's how they've always been. But the thing is that let me also say this, like the for that so, that generation, they think that they know everything. They think that they have all of the answers and that the answers are very simple, but let's be real, they're not simple. However, they could be simple if we actually like took a stand and did something about it. So what are you doing about it? What are you healing? What are you doing to regulate your nervous system? What are you doing to care for yourself? What are you doing to express yourself creatively? I could talk a lot about creativity and AI. And yes, it's a problem. I get it, not debating that. But what I'm saying is if you're not sharing your creativity, um, apparently another something will. Or if you're not building your business or building your dreams, something will. We all have opportunities here. We all have opportunities here, each and every one of us. So let's peek at the chart really quick, just to kind of show you what this planet pileup looks like. But let's just say if you have planets or points in Capricorn, probably around 16 to, we'll say 20-ish, 21 degrees of Capricorn, you want to know where that's at in your birth chart because that's going to show you like, okay, for example, my 16 to 21 degrees of Capricorn in my personal chart is in my third house, which is education and teaching. Oh, look. And I teach and I educate people. It's in writing, written education. My book is very near, very near, very near. Like, ooh, anxiety. My book is very close to being published and it is an educational book. Okay. Um, so if maybe 16 to 21 degrees of Capricorn's in your fifth house, what fun are you having? What creativity are you having? What are you building? Expressing? Are you falling in love with yourself, with the people, with your projects? Because if you're falling in love with it, you're probably terrified of it. I'm terrified of it, but I'm going to do it. Maybe Capricorn is your sixth house, solidifying your routines, work, coworkers, pets. right? If you are a Libra rising, it would be your fourth house, home, foundation, emotional intelligence. What are you doing to stabilize yourself, to stabilize your home environment, to have a good foundation to come home to at the end of the day, right? Um, And then very quickly here, we will also be talking about where Aries is in your chart and where Gemini is in your chart, because we're going to be really focused on those over the next, years, but certainly in the next couple of months. And I have already been working on that Aries energy and the Gemini energy. That's partly why I've really focused myself on this Capricorn transit, is because I wanted to have a good have some, have the things in place that I need from the Capricorn energy to continue to work with the Aries Gemini energy. I don't do well under those signs. And so it's really important to prepare myself in advance for having years of excessive amounts of Aries and Gemini energy. So burnout. If you're somebody who's a slower paced person, you process slowly, you socialize slowly, all of those sorts of things, like having things in place that you can have boundaries and say, I would love to socialize, but unfortunately I need to go and take care of myself. Or having things in place to say, I can't, do that because I need to invest my time into finishing my writing project, or, completing this so that I can get it out to the world. What's your organizations look like? Are you participating in organizations, or are you just kind of going to let them die? Because I guarantee you, once these older folks start, they're not going to be here forever. So who's going to run the program or the show? I shouldn't use the word program. Who's going to run things when they're not here? That's why they're still running them, is because we're not doing our part. Go check out Real AF podcast with Andy Frisella and get a little dose of reality. Yes, he curses a lot. I don't give a fuck, because he speaks a lot of truth. And we all need to hear it, as painful as it is. So, anyway, let me pull up a chart so we can take a look at the what's going on. And I think I forgot to mention that this is like January 7th through the 13th. So I have the chart on Saturday the 10th because the moon's in Libra, therefore it's that third quarter moon square headed in between that full moon that we had on January 3rd and the subsequent new moon we're going to have on the 16th. We'll talk about that next week. But if you look on the left-hand side of your screen, you'll see that planet triple conjunction in Capricorn. You've got Venus, you've got the Sun, you've got Mars, Mercury's coming in strong over there. They're all just piling up, and they're going to triple conjunct. You're going to have Venus have her Sun Cazimi before this video airs, but then Mars is going to have his Cazimi. Mercury is going to have his Cazimi, but it's going to be at the beginning of Aquarius season, so right after that new moon on the 16th. So we got a little time to not talk about that just yet, but as these planets are in that third decan of Capricorn, meaning 20 to 29 degrees of Capricorn, you're really going to start to notice. I have been looking at this transit since last year, and it's like we're really going to notice that Capricorn, like what foundations, what traditions, what structures, right? Capricorn rules the bones, it rules the spine, it's teeth, it's foundational. It's really what, your bones are what help you move, your joint. Well, it doesn't rule joints, that would be Aquarius. But anyway, but like your bones and your teeth help start your digestive system, all of these things. So Capricorn's kind of the sturdy structure here. And so it's really important that we use this energy this first couple weeks here of January and the first couple weeks of 2026 to establish what's necessary to be established. And I will also say that as these planets move through the final degrees of Capricorn, they will start to make a tiny aspect to Saturn and then Neptune as they get closer to Aquarius. So within the next couple of weeks here, they're really going to start to, like I kind of want to put it like this, whatever is you're being guided to, like whatever syncs you're getting, or maybe you're noticing a repeated song, or you're noticing like I don't see birds and critters. Like I might hear them, I might acknowledge them, but I couldn't tell you if the bird I heard, what type of bird it is, right? I can't see butterflies. I can't see, I might hear a critter running up a tree, but I couldn't tell you if it's a squirrel or something else, right? So I say that to say, like, this isn't about being visually impaired and you can't notice nature, because you can, you just have to do it differently. What I will say though is like butterflies is something that constantly surfaces for me. So it may be that you hear somebody say the word butterfly, or specifically like a colored color of a butterfly, and then later on you might read something about said colored butterfly. So for me the other day, it was something about, I heard something about blue butterflies, and a couple of hours later I heard something else about blue butterflies, and I'm like, oh shit, okay. So that's what I'm saying, like maybe for you, it's flowers, plants, trees. Maybe for you, it's songs, TV shows that resonate, movies that resonate, numbers. Y'all know I'm a military time type of girly. So I look for palindrome numbers or repeated numbers. So like 1441. You may the other earlier today, I paused a book I was reading and there was 2 hours and 22 minutes left, which I kind of laughed at. So I mean, it's things like that you want to notice um, as synchronicities, or your intuition trying to ping you when those sorts of things pop up. And they're very random and sometimes like knock me out of my space for a second, like what the fuck? So what I'm saying is that over the next couple of weeks, you may not even have to try very hard. Okay. But what you do need to do is practice some basic law of attraction. What are you really going for? Right? What do you really want? Right? Is it to continue to hide in your hermit phase, or hide in your drama or whatever? Or do you really want to self-express? Or do you really want to, stand up and be the leader that you are, or be the educator, or be the creative, or the writer, or the painter, or the, whatever it is, right? Content creator, musician, cook, those sorts of things. So whatever you are being guided or shown, you need to take action. You need to show the universe you're following the guidance. It's really important. Okay. It's also very critical that Gen X take the motherfucking step up. So we really need to show that we have some leadership capability and that we're not the left behind children. La 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 la. So anyway, that's kind of a glimpse of what the astrology is up to right now. I really want to like rant, but I'm trying to not. If you'd really like me to do a full rant, ugh, if you really would like me to do a full-on rant video, I am more than happy to do so. However, I did do some "You Are a Leader, Start Acting Like One" videos a year ago on my YouTube. You can go search for them in my videos tab. But so yeah, I did not pick out a crystal this week, but I can say that grounding crystals like smoky quartz would be a really good idea, because Capricorn is an earth sign, so you really want to bring it down from your upper chakras, from your crown, your third eye, and your throat, and bring it down to earth, root it into being, right? So focus on your root chakra, focus on your stability, focus on like bringing it into being. Stop talking, start acting, right? Or as the Hearts Unleashed podcast would say, turn dreamers into doers, taking action on what you actually want to be building and creating. Um, oils or herbs this week. Again, as always, like lavender, peppermint, really help regulate the nervous system. Siberian fir revitalizes and rejuvenates. I can't remember, but that was what card I drew. Siberian fir is probably a little harder to come by for some, but if you can get a forest blend, um, if you can get cedar wood, Douglas fir, things like that that can be really grounding, to help you out. Root vegetables, sweet potatoes, right, white potatoes. I'm a sweet potatoes person. Putting onion, garlic, those sorts of things, root vegetables. So you have parsnips, carrots, things like that. Parsnips are really good, actually. Um, 'Tis that time of year where root vegetables thrive a little bit better because they last a little bit longer. Um, so there's those sorts of things. But if you can consume those sorts of things and also enjoying your meal more mindfully. So perhaps turning off your phone, turning off the TV, turning off maybe have an audiobook. I don't know. I'm an audiobook junkie, so there's that. But being mindful of your food and not just eating for fuel, but actually being mindful of the gift of being able to consume food. Um, what else? Teas, um, chais. Chais are good because they do have a lot of spices, earthy spices in them, cloves, cardamom, cinnamon, ginger. So chais are good. Um, you can get chai at the grocery store. I'm a loose leaf tea person, but you don't have to be. Um, So anyway, let's move on to tarot. So yeah, anything that can help you ground, help you stabilize your nervous system. One second. Lock the iPad. Things that can help you stabilize your nervous system, peppermint, once again, lavender, um, those sorts of things. Let's see what we've got in the tarot. Oops, I need a different. Come on. There you go. All right. We got um okay, the Four of Swords upright. Um I can't remember. Is the Four of Swords? I'm working on it, guys. Studying this tarot. Um, for those of you who don't know, I am visually impaired, and so therefore, like looking at the picture on the tarot doesn't always resonate for me. Um, if you'd like to teach me how to read tarot as a blind person, I'm open to it. But I do have a workbook of tarot that I got from taking a course on reading tarot. Um, so I refer to my workbook. Okay. Hmm. Pentacles. Okay, thanks. Problem is I can never remember what order the cards are listed in this workbook. So bear with me one second while I not be so perfect. my God. Where the hell are you? I also do this to show you that I am still learning and that it's pretty okay if you're still learning whatever it is you're still learning, because we're all learning, but that doesn't mean that we can't do the things. Um, could have sworn. Oh, here we go. Okay. I thought so. Um, need to rest, recover, separation of separation at least for the time being. Ah, okay. Now I understand why. So the Four of Swords is like you may have to distance yourself from something for the time being. So I have been setting a lot of boundaries lately, but that's why this is up here. There's a little picture. I feel like that's a picture of the top right-hand corner or left-hand corner. So like yeah, you may have to distance yourself from certain things for the time being in order to really, excuse me, work with the Capricorn energy. I kind of like that. I like the fact that like, it's illustrating that, yeah, you're not necessarily going back to being a hermit, but you're also like, I I need time away from a certain situation or people in order to um get done what I want to get done. Let's pick one more card just for funsies, because why not? Oops. And if you know me, you know I don't take cards that fall out of the deck. I don't shuffle my cards to make a card fly out of the deck because that is not nice to my tarot decks. And if you follow a tarot reader who does do that, should be questioning your tarot reader. Um, because if they are forcing cards to fly out, um, that is not nice to the tarot deck. And we got Death card upright. Ooh. Obviously something's falling away. I mean, there's so many things falling away right now, but the death card is about transformation and not about a literal death. This could be like the death of a relationship, the death of the breakdown or the transformation that our systems are going, systems and structures and quote unquote authority and quote unquote leadership globally, geopolitically speaking. Um, we're experiencing like our social systems collapsing, our subsidy systems collapsing, and things like that. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not a matter of if, it's when those systems are all going to collapse. They're so close to collapsing right now. They're falling apart. There's cracks in all of them. And that's why I'm saying like this is so important for us, specifically Gen Xers to really like step up to the plate and really like build and create things that we want to see in the world, not to Gandhi the whole situation, but like it is that if you really want something to be different, stop bitching about what's not working and what doesn't work and build and create and express what you want to see go differently. Because that's what this is. People have complained about the system for decades, decades. I can remember growing up, my family always complaining about government and blah, 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 blah. But none of them ever went to a board meeting. None of them ever went to, in fact, when I did go to county board meetings, they questioned why I would do that because I want to understand how this system is not working in order to like go forward with what I could be doing to potentially have it go a different way. We got the self-care deck for the Oracle. Hmm. So let's see what's going on with the self-care situation, because I do believe that during this Capricorn season, we do need to focus on um, self-care. So everybody needs to go get laid. Or go read a good Lucy Score book. I just finished the Knockabout series. What I'm saying is like something that has a decent sex scene in it. Um does say sex. Let's pick one more just for those of you who maybe aren't as dirty-minded as I am. But anyway, I do think that we all need to experience a little bit of pleasure and have a little bit of fun. It's not so serious, and it might actually help the nervous system to have some orgasms or have some pleasure. And I'm not, and I mean, people take sex so out of context, right? Or take pleasure orgasm so out of context, right? Because yes, it's good to get some, okay? But it's also good if your life experience turns you on, okay? That your life experience actually makes you so satisfied and fulfilled that you're willing to wait for a better partner than just a random Joe. All right, we also have okay, sound healing. All right. So this one's good. You want to use some good 432 hertz Fazio frequencies. You could, I don't really like 432, although I'm not saying it's bad, but like the higher frequencies, I actually like the lower frequencies, like 197, 100, whatever it is. You can find all kinds of sound frequency healings here on YouTube. But I do recommend it because it when you use like specifically like sound cancellation headphones with a sound healing, it can actually move energy through your body and move it out of your system by having you pee a lot, take a couple craps, like whatever that looks like for you. And so, but it helps you move the energy through. You can also blast some heavy metal. Highly recommend heavy metal. Bang your head a little bit. Dancing is good, but straight up screaming with heavy metal is gratifying, right? Like when I really need to scream, I ain't going to know like hip hop dancey stuff. First of all, it's not my jam anyway, but I'm actually going to go towards like the old school heavy metal rockin' shit because that's what I want. Okay. All right. I hope this was all helpful. I do highly recommend that you take that sex card as being about pleasure and creating a life of pleasure. How good would it feel if you could fully express your creativity without the whole fear of whoever's not going to like it or whoever's going to judge it? Because stop it and express yourself because we need you to express. All right. I hope this was helpful. If you need anything, have any questions, if you want to book with me, all my links are in the description box below. Awakening Spirit Collective. All of those things are below. Have a great week. I'll talk to you next week. Take care.